Good morning from Zimbali Lodge in Durban at the Fairmont Hotel. The Fairmont Hotel is just one of my favorite brands in the world. They do things so impeccably well. I was on my way to Durban yesterday and I was listening to a podcast with Seth Godin. His book, The Purple Cow, fundamentally changed my life when I read it in 2008. If you haven't read it, it's such a classic when it comes to marketing. But every time I watch Seth Godin, I'm reminded of his genius. He's very conscious about how he approaches things. And the title of his podcast, or what he was talking about, was Entitlement. And it really struck a chord with me because I didn't realize how entitled I was. And when he started describing the sort of nuances and the personality traits of people that are entitled, I was like, oh my God, I'm entitled. So let me unpack it. We've got to realize that quality doesn't equal views. And we're stuck in a world where likes and views are so important to us. It's the way we measure our social capital. And the guy who was interviewing Seth Godin obviously has a great following and is well known in the world of podcasting. And I'd never heard of him, but apparently he's well known. He's in the top sort of 10 podcasts. And what Seth Godin was telling him was, do you know that there's a podcast with ladies that drink wine and get drunk with each other while they're recording the podcast, and it has 5 times more listenership than you? But it's not quality. It's got just numbers. And the guy was actually upset about it. He's like, how is that possible? My stuff's so quality, but they get many more views and many more listens than I do. And he was saying, don't ever trade attention for trust. And I thought, what a wonderful approach to being elegant. Because what happens in the world of social media, we want attention, acceptance, and approval. And so what we do is we share a picture of our abs or our boobs and our butts and whatever it is to get that attention. And then what happens is we don't get the traction we want, and then we get upset that people are categorizing me as a dumb blonde or as just a guy with a great body. And so what happens is we've gone for attention, but we've broken trust. Another thing he said was, do you know that you don't have to have everybody liking what you do? And I thought to myself, obviously, because you're obviously going to have people who don't like what you do. And he said, you just have to focus on 1,000 superfans. Just get 1,000 people that love what you do, and the rest will look after itself. You don't have to be caught up on just having those numbers. And eventually those 1,000 superfans become exponentially growing into the future, into bigger numbers, And so I just thought to myself, I've got to share this thing around entitlement. I think we're all suffering from entitlement. We all think that because we've done this should have happened. And the fact that it hasn't happened, we get pissed off about that. And I don't know, I think it was Coco Chanel who said, comparison is the end of elegance. And when we do compare, and obviously I've got my colleagues and contemporaries around me that do what I do, and some of them have got a lot more views and a lot more reads than I do, and I always used to get perturbed inside my head about it. But now I've realized, don't ever trade trust for attention, and numbers don't equal quality. Stick with it, persevere in your highest excitement, and ultimately you will affect the people that you need to in the work and the service that you've brought to the people. And that's all we have to focus on. Bless Seth Godin, and I hope this helped you. But please check him out, Seth Godin. Wow, man, he's got some incredible insights. Anyway, from Zimbali, from Durban, ciao.